Hello, good morning, everybody. So today I'm here with a poem called My Mother at 66 by Kamala Suraya. So I hope this short summarization of this poem, explanation of the poem, helps you for your exams. Okay, so yeah, Kamala Das, she was born in Kerala in the year 1934. And as you can see, she was actually a South Indian poet. Her actual name is Kamala Nair, born to a Nair family, but then eventually she got married and she became Das. So soon after that, when her husband died, later on, she had a friend, a Muslim friend, and she was influenced by this religion. She liked the religion. She was interested, and she converted herself to Muslim, and she became Suraya. So she is Kamala Das Suraya. Now this poem, okay, before that, let me tell you something about her. Now she is one of India's most popular poet and also a very bold poet at her time. Okay, so she's known for her originality, for her versatility, and she also adds some kind of indigenous flavor of the country. So she has published a lot of stories and novels. It's written both in English and Malayalam and under the pen name Madhavukutty. So she's a very sensitive writer, okay, who is successfully able to capture the complex subtleties of human relationships in a form of a lyrical poem. And this particular poem, My Mother at 66, is an example of such a poem. Okay, now let's look at the structure of the poem. Now, the setting of the poem is in a car. First half is in the car, and the latter half it is in the airport. And the mood is it's a very sad and anxious mood. And the theme that it deals with is advancing age and fear of loss and separation. So, because uh, a person who is born today will eventually grow up, you know goes on to various stages of life and reaches the old age, which is the last stage of life. And thus, when a person becomes old, your friends and families, they also have this fear of loss, because anytime that person could die. So obviously, when a person dies, you have to undergo through a lot of loss, and of course that fear of separation is always there. Okay, now this is a lyrical poem. Now, for example, just imagine that you're traveling in a car and then suddenly your favorite song starts playing. Now, you immediately start singing along, okay, without even realizing it. Now, actually, you're singing a poem. So, lyrical poetry, it expresses personal emotions or thoughts of the speaker. Now, the term lyric, it is derived from the Greek word lyre, 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 and this it refers to a musical instrument. Now, a long time back, when you had poets and bards and all, they always used to sing their poetries with the help of this musical instrument. And since then, this poem came to be known as a lyrical poem. Now, it is a very short poem and it is written in first person narrative. Okay, it is written in blank verse. That means there are no rhyming schemes at all. The words don't rhyme at all. All right, so let's go move on to the poem. The driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Now, like I said, the setting is in a car. Now, Miss probably she had come for her holidays and now she's going back. So she's traveling in a car with her mother by the side, and it was a Friday morning. Okay, so beside her is her mother. Okay, who's sitting beside her. Now, please note that the first line, driving from my parents This particular sentence, it extends on to the second line. Home to coaching last Friday, again extending on to the next line, morning. I saw my mother beside me. So you can see all extensions of the first sentence to the second, from second to third, third to fourth. So this kind of extension is called an enjambment. Okay, so whenever the first sentence extends on to the second and third and fourth, that kind of extension is called an enjambment, right? Dose open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. But soon, now again, look at this old woman. I've just given a random example, of how her mother might be looking at that particular time. This woman, she's got gray hair and she's like sleeping, and moreover, she is completely lifeless, that she's not moving, there's no motion at all. And likewise, her mother is also sitting beside her. She's fast asleep, her mouth is open, and her face is ashen like that of a corpse. Now, she compares her mother to that of a corpse. Now, here is a picture of a corpse. Now, just like a corpse is very pale, does not have any color, it's motionless, it looks dead. In the same manner, her mother, who was sleeping beside her, was motionless. And because of old age, obviously, there isn't any color on her face. She looks very, very pale. So at that particular time, a realization strikes her. And that realization is very painful. Why? Because she knew that her mother was really old. That means she was nearing her death. Okay, so this gives her the realization of death, that very soon, one day, her mother is also going to leave. Now, this is an image inside the car, which brings in a very negative kind of feeling, a very sad and gloomy picture inside the car. But soon, put that thought away. She put that thought away because she did not want to dwell on the fact that her mother was very old and was edging to her death. Okay, so she looks out of the car, and these are the images. Now, these images that she sees is a total contrast. So this is deliberately done. She deliberately brings about a contrast because she does not want to dwell on that sad thought, on that, negative feeling that she's soon going to lose her mother because her mother is very old. So that's why she wants to divert her mind and looks outside, where she sees these green trees. They are sprinting. Sprinting means running. So the quality of a human being is given to a tree. That is personification. Okay, trees look as if they are running, and the merry children spilling out of their homes. Now she looks a metaphor to compare these children to water. Now, what has been compared? How can these children be compared to water? Now, when these children are coming out of their homes, they're running, they're full of energy, they're dashing around, okay? Just like water spilling out, just like water gushing out. You take a pipe and, like open the tap, the water gushes out with a lot of energy. So that energy of the water gushing out is been compared to the energy of the children rushing out of their homes. So this is a metaphor. Okay, so you can see this is a totally positive image that she creates, a very happy, a very lively image that she creates. And this, she does it purposely because she wants to bring about a contrast between the two scenes, inside the car and outside the car. Okay, and these children look very young and very vigorous, full of life and growth, as in contrast to her mother who's already old and is inching closer to her death. Now, but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. Now, they've already reached the airport at this particular time. And as she reaches that airport security area, like she looks and then she sees her mother who's standing just a few yards away. Now, again, she's realized, she's come to the reality that her mother is looking very pale, worn, very, lifeless, very pale as a winter's moon. Now, the second time she compares her mother to that of a winter's moon. Now you can see the picture of an old woman sitting out there. She looks lifeless, right? There's no color in her face, and she looks absolutely pale. There's no life, no vigor. Okay, she's lost her youth. She's lost that shine of youth. And now look here, the winter moon, like it's totally fogged. It's covered with fog because winters, there's a lot of fog. It's not like the summer moon where the sky is absolutely clear. So when the sky is not clear, when it's filled with fog, obviously you're not able to see the moon clearly. So therefore it looks very dim. Okay. Now winter is the last of the season. Okay, so with this also, we're talking about November, December, so which is also the end of a year. Likewise, the mother here is at an old age, which is the last stage of life. Okay, so her mother is being compared to that of a winter's moon because here she has lost the vigor, the vitality of youth. Okay, and also she is at an old age, which is the last stage of life. And likewise, the moon, the winter moon, is very dim. It does not shine properly because of the fog. And obviously, this also denotes the end of a year, the last stage of the year. So when she comes to this realization that her mother is at the end of life, she's, in her old age, then she feels a pang in her heart, which is very familiar, that familiar ache. She's gone through that before. When? Her childhood. So her childhood's fear comes back again. Now here is a picture of a young girl clinging on to her mother. Now, when you see a very cute child, you want to play with the child and you try to take that child away from the mother, what does that child do? She clings on to the mother and she cries. Why does she do that? Because she fears that separation from her mother. She does not want to be separated away from her mother. She clings onto her mother. Okay? So that fear of separation is there. And Kamala does, as a child, she had already gone through that particular pain. So that's why she says, a familiar ache, the childhood's fear. Okay, it comes back again because she realizes that her mother has become old and very soon she's also going to lose her mother. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. So if you notice, the word smile has been repeated thrice. This is alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same sounding words, or the first letter is been repeated. For example, here, SSS. Okay, so that is called alliteration. Now, she could not say anything, but she just said one line and she said, see you soon, Amma, which also, kind of shows us a hope because she hopes that next time when she comes again, she's going to see her mother. She hopes that her mother is going to be there. And all I did was smile and smile and smile. Here, she's repeating the word because here, she's trying to express her helplessness, okay, at the face of something which is inevitable, like death. Okay, so she's trying to put on a false face, trying to hide a fear, of losing a mother, and she just keeps on smiling. And this smile that she does is a smile of helplessness because she cannot help. She cannot do anything about this separation. Okay? So, one more thing here I'd like to explain to you this about the young tree sprinting. Like I said, when you're traveling in a vehicle, you look outside the window, you'll see that the trees are passing by. It looks like they're running, but actually, they're not running. Do they run? No. It's all because of the vehicular motion. So now, as the trees pass one by one, it also represents or it also symbolizes the passing of time, the passing of age, how her mother from a youth, from a childhood to youth, now has come to old age. Okay, so that is also personification.